This presentation you're about to see is a presentation that was put together for my coworkers for our new Worksite Wellness program. We just implemented this program in January, and we've been using it for about 6 months now, and throughout that time we've done evaluations on the program to see how staff are utilizing it, and we found some consistent inconsistencies. There were several issues that staff members have had in common. We've had a lot of the same questions, and so to clarify the program so that they can use it more fluidly and get the most out of it, we've put together this refresher course for them. Throughout the presentation, you're going to see several copyrighted pictures that we've used in the presentation. They've been used to evaluate the culture of specified time periods, and you'll see what I mean on down in the presentation. They're for non-commercial use, so because of this criteria, we've judged this or deemed this as within the parameters of fair use guidelines. And you're also going to see where we have cited these sources so you can see where the pictures originated from. But I hope you enjoy this presentation. That is some of the backstory. Alright staff, so you guys have been participating in the program for about 6 months now, and the point of today's presentation is to take you guys through the program again and give you some hands-on activities so that you guys can address some of the issues you have been having, and we can provide hands-on guidance for you all so that you know how to navigate the program from here on out and make the most of it. Before we delve into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about the history of health and wellness so that you guys know how we came to the point of deciding we needed a worksite wellness program here in the workplace. So to start out, let's talk about physical activity and nutrition throughout the decades. If you take a look, if you were to Google nutrition and physical activity in the 1920s, these are some of the images that pop up. You'll see you've got a very lovely lady here, barely sweating at all. They make it very glamorous, and you have a machine that works out for you. If only it was that easy. And you've got a picture here of Betty Boop up in the top left-hand corner. They even did a cartoon about it where she's using this piece of equipment. That's just exercising for her. It shimmies you around so that you can get physical activity without really exerting yourself. If you fast forward 30 years to the 1950s, you'll see that how women in the 1950s stayed fit and trim. I guess I would be hosed because I've got my Roomba at home, so I'm not really getting the physical activity I need with my vacuuming. But this is what is depicted as far as nutrition and physical activity in the 1950s. During this time, you had a lot of stay-at-home wives. The husbands were the ones in the work field, and it looked like the focus for nutrition, physical activity, and wellness was at home on the wives. And that's where it was targeted, that's where the marketing was targeted, and they just tied it in with house cleaning to stay fit and trim. If you fast forward another 30 years to the 1980s, you'll see we have our Richard Simmons era, and during this time you have a lot of bright colors, disco, VHS tapes were the rave. You could order your Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons workout videos online, and then at your convenience, you could pop these into the VCR and get your physical activity. So throughout all the decades, physical activity and nutrition, important components to society, but you see kind of how it's progressed over the last several decades. Well, as we fast forward into the 2000s, most everyone is in the workplace. Most of our waking hours for the general or a lot of the population is spent at work with your coworkers. And a lot of us have very busy schedules, so we don't have the time to get physically active, get the nutrition that we need, and really invest in our health because all of our time is spent at work. So because of that, we wanted to develop a program for you guys so that you guys could still practice wellness, be healthy, have these healthy habits, even though we know you have those time-consuming schedules. We wanted to offer something for you so that you could still practice wellness and be productive in the workplace. And that's what this program is all about. So that's kind of how it started and why we've implemented it for you guys. Before we go into the review, I want to do a quick activity with you all. I want you to take a look at the sheet that's sitting in front of you. It's a page full of numbers. And what we're going to do, I want you to put your pencils down, and I want you to start at the number 1 on this page. I want you to find the 1. It's in the top left-hand corner. Once you find that, I want you to put your finger on it. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds, and I want to see how far you can get on this page. What you're going to do is find the 1, then the 2, then the 3, then the 4, and so on. I want to see how high you can get in 30 seconds. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, fast forward 30 seconds. All right, everybody. How many of you guys got to 10? Okay. How many got to 15? Did anyone get to 20? No? Okay. Put your finger back on 1. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. I want you to start at 1. I want to see how far you get this time. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, fast forward 30 seconds. That's over. How many this time got to 15? Okay, a little more. Anyone get to 20? Okay, a couple of you. Anyone get to 25? Any overachievers out there? All right. This time, I want you guys to pick up your pencils and I want you to draw a tic-tac board on your page from top to bottom. It's going to look something like this. The number 1 is going to be located in the top left box. The number 2 is going to be located in the middle top box. The 3 in the right top box. The 4 in the left middle box, and so on. Follow that pattern, and whenever you get to the bottom right-hand box, go back up to the top left-hand box and follow that same pattern, and all of your numbers are going to follow that pattern. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds, and I want to see how far you get. On your mark, get set, go. All right, fast forward 30 seconds. How many of you guys made it to at least 30 this time? Okay, everybody. How many of you made it to 40? Okay. How many of you made it to 50? Okay. Many of you made it to 50. Great job. That's as high as the page went. You finished out the page. How many of you got further whenever you had the tic-tac-toe board as opposed to the first time? 100% of you guys. So the first time you got this activity and you saw the numbers, it was just a page full of random numbers, just a conglomeration there. It's kind of like the first time we went over this program with you guys. It was a lot of information. You had different tracking sheets. There were a lot of moving parts and a lot of components. And we tried our best to shed some light on it to help you navigate the program as we got started. As 6 months has progressed, it might have been kind of like the second time you filled out that sheet. You're getting a little bit further. You're starting to understand it. You're starting to know how to calculate your points and make the most of your activities. Well, after today's activity, I'm hoping to give you guys the tic-tac-toe board so that you can fully understand the program, understand where to access all the information that you need, how to properly fill it out, who to turn it into, so that you can achieve your wellness goals this year that you've set for yourself. That is the purpose of today's activity, and I hope to shed some light on that for you guys. Here's a quick review of how the program is laid out. Again, you've got quarterly goals that you're setting for yourself, and each quarter, if you meet the deadline and you have enough points by the deadline, then you get certain incentives. And during our activity, we're going to review the 8 different ways you can earn points. We're also going to review the different tracking sheets so that you guys can understand where to access those, how to fill those out correctly, and where to turn those into. So without further ado, let's go ahead and divide into 3 groups. Once you guys get divided, you're going to have a table of scenarios. You're going to have 2 or 3 scenarios at each table. What I want you to do is read each scenario, then use the laptop that's provided. I want you to go onto the intranet, locate the 3 wellness trackers. I want you to fill the wellness trackers out based on the scenario, and then I want you to complete complete and email the completed wellness trackers to the appropriate person on the wellness team. So you guys, once you guys have that done, we're going to review the wellness trackers to see if you guys properly logged all of the activities as well as got the most of your points that you could get. After that, we'll discuss it as a group to see how you guys can improve that, or we'll see which group got the most points. So I'm going to give you guys about 15 minutes to get that completed, and then we'll regroup at the end. So this concludes this activity. As you can see, you did see the copyrighted material through there, but like I said, the way we utilized it, it falls within the parameters of fair use. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, and thank you very much.